Yo guys, I'm Yellow, the Norwegian hardcore PC gamer, and today I figure that I should make a video that is going to go a bit deeper into the stuff related to this petition that has been going around. It is talking about how they want Valve to fix VAC, but also how they want to get 128 tick implemented into CS. Now, I'm terrible with names, I don't even at the top of my head remember who made the petition, but the point though is that a lot of people are signing and co-signing and like pushing this petition forward. That's what I'm trying to say. And now, if you know truly how stuff is going down with CS from a business perspective, it might seem pretty silly, this petition. So I figured I should enlighten you people a little bit more about the endless battle that goes against cheaters and how it's probably going to take quite some time before we're going to get any higher tick rate in the game. Even though, again, when these things happen, they will probably happen at once. Now, don't get me wrong, while I think, technically speaking, this petition is pretty silly, I want the things that it's about to happen. But the thing is that reality is vastly different from what the general population seem to think is going down with cheaters and like the tick rate and all this kind of stuff. So let's go through a lot of the like business related data that is very important here. Number one is going to be general people playing. Any game that become incredibly popular or very popular is gonna have a ton of people of all walks of life playing the game. And some people will also have a moral compass that's fucking broke into high hell, and they would like to cheat. Just like with how your little brother might in Monopoly, there we go, move your piece when you aren't looking. These people would like to have an aimbot and smash you in the face when they're playing CSGO, which is kind of cringy when you think about it. If you're cheating, like it's just outright sad, really, when you look at it like that. It's kind of childish, but I mean, then again, we live to learn, so it's not too much of a big deal, assuming somebody will transform themselves as time goes by. But the point though here is that the more people you have, the more randomness you have in type of person, which means that there has, at one point in time, become a supply and demand that is very strong in terms of people wanting to cheat and people that do cheat and also make cheats. And that is aside from the fact that there has been, for many years, many other FPS games on the PC. This means that there will be, the more an FPS game become popular, there will be cheat providers that are really, really good at exploiting the million different types of kinds of bugs that a game might have, in which they will make their cheats, and they will just outright do some of the most silly stuff ever. Like, for example, they might utilize bugs that, like, you would never find them unless you were outright looking for them, and in fact it might not impact the game's performance at all, but it's still a hole in the structure of how the game works, which means that they are going to utilize it, and they're going to be as fucking annoying as possible, and they're just going to pollute the game, really. Now, Valve has put in a lot of gates that you have to go through in order to get the best experience possible, in which it probably ends with prime matchmaking at a higher rank, I'm going to assume, in which to get to that point you have to get the bullshit rank up to level 24, and to get a high rank outright, you need to play your 10 placement games originally after reaching level 3 at the bullshit rank, in which that is by far gonna easily take like 5 or maybe 6 days, because you can only win 2 matches per day per max, initially speaking, until you then get your rank. And then, depending on what you get, you gotta go through all the grind in order to get to a high rank, in which then, when you connect your phone, you got Prime, you're finally at the best matchmaking experience that you can possibly get, which it's still not that great, really. But the point though here is that, like, I'm not really gonna blame people for being random and they not being compatible with me whenever I'm playing matchmaking. What instead I would blame is just like people being assholes and cheating, and it's gonna end there. Some people might say, Valve, you need to do more. But, like, Valve, they are probably right now doing everything they can because of the sheer amount of people and the sheer amount of bugs software we'll have. Two facts are relevant here. Number one, there's probably like 10 or maybe 20 cheat developers that exploit outright the bugs you would never really find, normally speaking, in order to make their cheat work. That maybe like 1 or 2 anti-cheat developers that are working on VAC need to not just get, but then dissect, and then figure out how it works, and then patch into the VAC system, so that whenever anybody cheat with these things, they will get wrecked, essentially. That is fucking tedious. And keep in mind that as soon as one cheat has been detected, the cheat developers will make another one. And there will be a supply and demand because there are many people that now cheat, the more popular a game become, and it's just never going to end because there are always more bugs and nuances to coding that is going to appear. And that is not because coding is a thing that is forever going to be bad, but it's because coding can't be perfect because it's done by human beings, and we aren't perfect as people. So, yeah, unless you then go into a LAN experience, the PCs don't have internet connections, and you don't have any piece of metal on yourself, no USB sticks, no nothing, and you then just sit down, play, and then leave. Aside from that, we'll always have some cheaters, so we can't really get rid of it. However, this is where stuff gets really interesting. We can suppress it as much as possible, and we can maximize the performance of everything that we got. CSGO is such an intricate game. If you outright cheat, it will be very visible towards anybody that uses Overwatch, which is why the game performing as good as possible, VAC being functional as flexibly as possible, if that makes any sense, and people just playing towards their highest skill level and then reporting people as they should. This should suffice in terms of trying to terminate as many cheaters as possible, especially when you can see physically and like visually that they are using some form of cheat. But that's not the point though. The prime point here is that if Valve really work their ass off and they implement the Source 2.0 engine to CSGO or convert it or whatever, they will free up a lot of performance on our PCs, because CSGO currently is not running optimally at all, just by far. Like my PC is like using 30 or 40% of its CPU power, and I got 8 cores, and that's aside from the GPU and my RAM and the motherboard's performance, all that bullshit. In which, if my game then, for example, performs 150% versus what it got right now, then they can take 5 or 10%, cut that off, and spend that on even more Valve anti-cheat functionalities that will make it more aggressive and suppress cheaters even more. And hell, with that extra frame rate, we can now actually realize the dream of adding a higher tick rate to the servers, because now there are actually even more users that can use that higher tick rate. That's probably the biggest reason for why Valve aren't really adding higher tick rates to servers, is because there aren't that many people that will utilize it. And those who do are already customers of Faceit and ESEA, which are running their own league, their own tournament, and are making their own brand, are making Counter-Strike look a lot more professional. So I mean, like, Valve might not even do that from the get-go anyways, or if they do something, it will maybe not be as good as like 128 tick. But as you guys can probably now see, this matter is fucking advanced, and this petition won't really cause any change, and Valve are aware of this already. But I mean, us pointing out that like we really want this, I think that's healthy. And I think the goals are good. I'm just not going to sign the petition though, because like we can't just say give this to me and we'll get it, you know. So hopefully this informed you people that were not in the loop. If you already knew these things, you're probably a smart guy. Thanks for listening to my rambling bullshit anyways. But yeah, thanks for watching though. If you guys want to catch me on stream or get smarter at the game, here are 2 related videos that will explain that. As this video goes up, I'll probably be live streaming on Twitch. So tune in, say hi, do whatever you want. We'll have a blast, and hopefully it won't go straight to hell. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and don't get beastified when you play.